This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Looking live outside over the Rose City. The snow has stopped, but we are not done yet with the severe winter. Good morning and thanks for getting up with us on your Sunday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. There is a lot happening out there right now, including some breaking news. First, the big headline, though, following the winter storm, more than 121,000 are still without electricity. More importantly, heat. This morning, PGE crews are making progress, though, repairing lines damaged by ice and falling trees from all the wind we've seen.
Max lines are still not running this morning and will likely stay shut down until crews can get a good look at them in the daylight.
And the storm has turned deadly, with 3 deaths likely connected to this freezing weather. We'll have more on those deaths and more storm coverage in just a minute. But first, to our breaking news this morning. 2 people have been killed in a fire at a Northeast Portland church.
Our Alma McCarty is on the scene right now, Northeast 67th near Sandy Boulevard. Alma, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Christine, China, as you had mentioned, we have learned within the last 30 minutes or so that this church fire has turned deadly. The fire crews tell me that there were 2 victims and they were both inside of the church gymnasium. Now, this fire did spread to a house to the south. However, the people who live in that house were able to get out safely. Here's some video of the scene earlier. Portland Fire and Rescue said that the 3-alarm fire began around 4:10 this morning and again was in the gymnasium part of the church. At this time, firefighters did contain it to that area and it did not spread, they say, to the sanctuary of the church. Now, the fire did damage part of the house, but that structure was saved. Portland Fire reporting the flames became untenable at one point, forcing crews inside of the church who were fighting the flames that way back outside. Here's Deputy Chief Chris Barney.
Very quickly, we did make an attempt to go in when we had the very first reports of the victims. So we had crews making entry in to go and find them and get them out. But the fire conditions were such that they were not able to progress much past into the building. And then in the midst of them trying to make access to where the people were, a portion of the gymnasium structure collapsed. So then we had to pull out and remove the firefighters and take a defensive posture.
Now, again, the firefighters believe that there are 2 victims, again, inside of the church and killed as a result of this fire. At this time, they have not determined any kind of a preliminary cause to what caused the fire. However, the crews are expected to be out here on scene for at least another couple of hours, so just be aware if you are out and about in the area that there's definitely going to be some slowdowns. Also, we asked them about the conditions, and they say that with weather like this, it is definitely more difficult for crews to fight these fires and really respond to any kinds of calls just due to how cold everything is, both this morning and yesterday. Back to you guys.
Alma, thank you for that devastating update. Getting back to our winter storm coverage, let's get to meteorologist Chris McGinnis.
So, Chris, I know right now the focus are the cold temperatures. They're still freezing out. Have the winds died down, though?
Winds are easing for some of us. Folks in the Columbia River Gorge, west end of the gorge, east side of town, like over near, once you get east of 205 and that area, winds are still quite gusty. Again, they are ratcheting down a little bit, but the wind chill, the combination of the temperature and the wind, what it actually feels like to your exposed skin, we're dealing with single digit and in some cases single digit below 0 wind chills. So just know that if you are out and about today, exposed skin can suffer frostbite in 30 to 45 minutes with wind chills that cold. And the colder they get, the faster your skin can suffer frostbite. All right, the live look from our Rose City sky camera right now. Slate gray sky over downtown. We'll switch gears, give you the look from Pioneer Courthouse Square. The bricks are covered in snow. It's 18 degrees at PDX, the southeast breeze at 14. That's the sustained wind, giving us a wind chill, a feels like temperature of 4 right now at PDX. It's 17 in Troutdale, but the east wind is even stronger out there. So obviously that means lower wind chills for you folks. And then east side of the state, really cold. Single digits right now in John Day. It's 0 in Bend, which, believe it or not, has come up a couple of degrees from last hour. All right, here's the good news. We are done with the precipitation. Radar is showing a clean sweep here across southwest Washington and northwest Oregon. So we're done with whatever is falling from the sky, and we hope that the sky will clear up just a little bit. I think we at least see some partial sunshine here in town. But ladies, you can see here that any sun that we see is not doing anything for the temperatures here as we only get into the mid-20s for highs in Portland today. Record lows possible tonight, another day below freezing tomorrow, and then we start to warm up. But guys, as we do, we're also watching for at least a window of some possible freezing rain Tuesday night and Wednesday, and I'll look at that with Futurecast in just a few minutes.
Chris, thank you. And so many people this morning are dealing with serious damage from trees that fell in the storm. Take a look at what Todd sent us from southwest Portland. You can see a large tree sheared off a whole side of his neighbor's home. And two people living in this home in southeast Portland say a tree fell when they were sleeping.
Like several of the top branches came like all the way through the roof. There's like a giant tree branch in my room.
Trees falling are also the main reason more than 121,000 homes with PGE are without power still this morning, but crews are making progress. PGE says it has 400 crew members working as fast as they can to get the lights and heat back on. And then on the roads, while there are some slick spots out there, it's the trees causing the biggest issue here. This one was on Southwest Fairview Boulevard in the West Hills. 33 roads are closed within Portland right now, all for downed trees or power lines. And there are many more closures in surrounding areas. Take a look at this huge tree that shut down Southeast Troutdale Road in East Multnomah County. If you do have to head out today, you'll definitely want to check road closures on your county or city website. There's also ODOT's trip check for highways and major routes.
And if you were hoping to take a MAX train today, all lines are still shut down. TriMet suspended service yesterday, saying power outages, downed trees, and icy conditions made it unsafe to keep the trains going. They're providing shuttle buses, though, in some spots, but say riders should be looking to regular bus lines instead or finding other transportation. As far as those regular bus lines go, some routes are being detoured because of road closures. So check trimet.org/alerts before you need to leave. Also, know that all buses have chains on them right now and can go no faster than 25 miles an hour. So expect long delays.
And tragically, it appears the dangerous weather has turned deadly. We're talking about 3 cases. It includes one woman who was killed when a tree fell in an RV in southeast Portland, sparking a fire inside. The second victim is a suspected case of hypothermia that turned fatal in Multnomah County.
The third person was a senior killed when a tree fell on a home in Lake Oswego. Art Edwards has the story.
The Lake Oswego Fire Department declared a state of emergency because of the severe weather conditions. A large tree fell on a house in the southward area of Lake Oswego. A man inside the home was killed. The freezing temperatures are also taking a toll on people who are outside. While more shelter space is being made available throughout the area, it is not always enough.
People in the area without access to a warm environment are at risk of hypothermia and frostbite, which can be very dangerous and even deadly. We have one suspected case of hypothermia early this morning. Someone passed away.
On Saturday afternoon, Portland Fire and Rescue responded to reports that a tree had fallen on an RV parked near Southeast 105th and Herald. There were several people inside the RV at the time.
I was playing some Fortnite, and then all of a sudden the power goes out, and I hear a bang, and I look outside, and the tree hit the van, and it went over. After that, I bet good 1-2 minutes, the fire started coming out, and I heard one of the people that lived there, one of the homeless that lived there, he was screaming.
When firefighters arrived, they found the RV on fire and live power lines and a transformer down in the road. That challenged their efforts. The nearest fire hydrant was likely frozen and not working. 3 people got out of the RV, but a woman in her 30s was trapped inside and died. Portland fire investigators learned the people in the RV were using an open flame stove to keep warm at the time of the fire.
That was Art Edwards reporting. If you or someone you know needs a place to get out of the cold, warming shelters remain open across the metro area.
Multnomah County opened 4 additional shelters last night for a total of 10. Here's a map of where they're located. They plan to have 740 beds open for anyone who needs one. And most of the shelters will be open through at least 8 o'clock tonight, but that will likely be extended. Of course, other counties have emergency shelters open too. You can call 211 for a list of the shelters in Multnomah County and head to the warming shelters article on KGW.com for more information. Stick with KGW for the latest as we endure this Arctic blast. And for the latest forecast, head to KGW.com. Find us streaming on KGW Plus or download the KGW app.
To another developing story this morning, a Portland police officer shot and killed a person after responding to a shooting call at an apartment in downtown Portland. It started around 12:30 this morning on the 8th floor at the Portland Astoria Apartments on Southwest Columbia and First. Police told the people living there to stay inside their apartments, then gave the all clear around 4:45 this morning. At this point, we don't know exactly what happened during the standoff before the officer shot and killed the person involved. Some people who live on the 8th floor, though, won't be able to get to their unit until the investigation continues.